The company that celebrated record growth last quarter just lost half its founding team. Here is why success is the real threat. Your company just hit record revenue. The CEO sends a company-wide email celebrating the milestone, maybe even throws a party. 6 months later, half the team that built that success has quietly resigned. Nobody connects those two events, but they should. This is what rapid corporate growth actually does to the people inside it, and why some of the fastest growing companies become the worst places to work. Growth changes what a company is before anyone inside notices it happening. The scrappy team that once celebrated landing a single customer now tracks quarterly targets in dashboards nobody reads. Decisions that used to happen in a hallway conversation now require 3 approval chains and a 14-person Slack thread. The mission statement stays on the wall, but the real mission shifted months ago from solving a problem to protecting a number. Employees who join because they believed in something start feeling like cogs in a machine they don't recognize. Middle managers spend more time justifying headcount than actually leading their people. What once felt like a family starts operating like a factory, and no amount of free snacks in the break room fixes that. A McKinsey report found that companies growing faster than 20% annually face twice the risk of a major culture breakdown within 3 years. That stat shouldn't surprise anyone who has lived through it. What happens next is painfully predictable. Someone in leadership decides the chaos needs structure, and on paper that sounds reasonable. But instead of building smart guardrails, they build bureaucracy. Every decision now needs a document. Every project needs a steering committee. Every idea has to survive 4 rounds of review before anyone actually tries it. The people who thrived in the early days, the builders, the risk takers, the ones who moved fast and figured things out, they start to suffocate under the weight of it. Process becomes the product instead of a tool that supports the real work. Meetings multiply until calendars look like Tetris boards with no gaps left. A team that once shipped features in 3 days now spends 2 weeks just aligning on a project brief. The irony is brutal: the growth that should create opportunity instead creates paralysis. This is the phase nobody in leadership wants to talk about openly. Your best people start leaving, and it's rarely because a competitor waved more money at them. Growth brings new layers of management between people and the work they actually care about. The engineer who used to report directly to the CTO now reports to a director who reports to a VP who occasionally mentions their name in a leadership sync. Recognition evaporates quietly. Autonomy shrinks week by week. The people who built the foundation watch as external hires get promoted into roles they were never even considered for. Harvard Business Review reported that high performers in rapidly scaling companies are 40% more likely to leave within 18 months of a major growth phase. Leadership calls it natural attrition and moves on to the next hiring push, completely missing the deeper warning signal. They don't leave with drama or farewell speeches. They just quietly disengage first, and then one Monday morning, their Slack status goes permanently dark. While everyone inside obsesses over scaling operations, something dangerous is happening on the outside. Customers stop being people with real problems and become rows on a revenue spreadsheet. Support teams get restructured around efficiency metrics instead of actual resolution quality. Product roadmaps quietly shift from what users genuinely need to what will drive expansion revenue this quarter. The company that once won customers by caring deeply now wins deals through aggressive sales playbooks and loses those same customers through slow, steady neglect. Longtime users start writing those blog posts titled "Why I Left" that go viral on social media. Salesforce went through this. Amazon went through this. Even Google went through this. Remember when their motto was literally about not being evil? Every major company hits a phase where growth ambition overtakes customer obsession. The ones that survived caught it early and made hard corrections. Growth itself is not the villain in this story. Unconscious, unexamined growth is. Companies that navigate scaling successfully do 3 things differently from the ones that implode. First, they protect decision speed even as they add headcount. Amazon's 2-pizza team rule exists for exactly this reason. Small, autonomous groups that can ship without waiting 3 weeks for someone's approval. Second, they measure culture with the same discipline they use to measure revenue. Not through annual engagement surveys that everyone clicks through mindlessly, but through retention patterns, internal mobility rates, and genuinely honest skip-level conversations. Third, they promote from within before automatically defaulting to external hires for leadership roles. Nothing destroys team morale faster than watching a complete stranger parachute into a position your colleague spent 2 years earning. These are not revolutionary ideas, they are just the ones that get quietly sacrificed first when the pressure to grow consumes everything else. If any of this sounds familiar, if you watch this thinking about your own company, try one thing before the week ends. Have a 15-minute conversation with someone on your team. Not about deliverables, not about sprint velocity, not about quarterly targets. Ask them how they honestly feel about where things are headed. That single conversation might matter more than any strategy deck you produce this quarter. Growth should make a company stronger, not hollow it out from the inside. And the difference between those outcomes almost always comes down to someone who had the courage to speak up before it was too late. You might be that person right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. That's a wrap, thanks for watching. If this gave you one idea you can use today, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.